This is the Savvy Investor radio show and podcast. For help with your retirement, schedule a 15-minute phone conversation with the team at ProStatus Financial Advisors today. Just call 866-597-1040 and at thesavvyinvestorradio.com.
You know, if retirement wasn't tough, wasn't difficult enough, retiring from the federal government seems to have extra layers of complexity. So that's what we're going to talk about now. Katherine, you work with a lot of federal employees, and the team at ProStatus do as well. Why is it so important for federal employees to work with a financial planner who understands, who gets the rules, the red tape, the intricacies in those federal benefits?
I love talking about federal employees. So before we get into that, I just wanted to talk about how many federal employees that I sit down with and do a complimentary financial plan and tell them that they are working for free.
For free?
For free.
Well, tell me, because I can't follow that up.
Same facial expression you gave me is the same one they give me when I tell them that.
Every time.
Like, what do you mean I'm working for free? And I say, okay. I said, well, if you retired today, you would bring in the same paycheck you're bringing in now from working. And they go, no, that's not possible. I'm putting I'm maxing out my TSP, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And then I sit down with them and I'm just going to give you a simple example of this. I sit down with them and I say, okay, well, how much is your net paycheck that you deposit biweekly from the government? And they tell me, oh, my net paycheck is, $2,500 biweekly, right?
Okay.
So their income that they're depositing into their checking account is $5,000 a month.
Okay.
And then I pull up their benefits statement from their federal benefits from OPM. And federal employees, they have all their little acronyms that you have to learn. So you look at their OPM statement and you say, okay, if I retired today, my pension would be $5,000 a month coming in. And they're like, but my income is much larger than that. Yes, it is, but you've been working for the federal government for, 20, 25, 30, sometimes 40 years. And at this point, you don't even need to save anymore in your TSP. You're just doing it now because it's automatic. It's something you just feel like you have to do. But at the end of the day, if your federal pension and your Social Security, so if you're FERS, you could still get Social Security. CSRS, they don't get Social Security. But between the pension and or Social Security, depending on what system you're in, if that income covers your if that income covers your monthly income goal, then you can retire. It doesn't matter if you have, $500,000 or $3 million in your TSP. At that point, it's irrelevant. It's just a tax bill, a tax burden that you're going to pass on to the next generation. So when you tell people that and they look at you and they say, really? Well, I guess that does kind of make sense. One of the clients I met with recently, he's been a longtime client. He actually just in February of 2024 had 50 years of service. He's still under the old civil CSRS system, which I don't come across many of those anymore because most of those people have retired by now. And I asked him, why are you working? And he says, well, I don't really know what else I would do. I mean, I don't like to travel. I don't have hobbies. I said, well, you do realize you're working for free. And we had that whole conversation. I explained it to him. And, he's like, well, I'm waiting to get my 50-year pin. Yeah. And the funny,
that's an expensive pin.
The funniest thing I tell about the whole story is his wife's sitting there in the meeting with us and she rolls her eyes and she goes, they probably don't even make 50-year pins anymore because no one is that stupid to work for the federal government for 50 years. She says they're probably going to give you 2 25-year pins and you're going to be disappointed.
Or not get it at all.
Right. So, I mean, definitely if you're a federal employee, whether you're on the old system, CSRS, you're definitely probably absolutely 100% working for free. If you're under the FERS system, and you want to see if you're working for free, then you need to give us a call at our office. If you're 55 and over and you want to see what retirement looks like as a federal employee, then give us a call at 866 597-1040, or go to the savvyinvestorradio.com and click on schedule a call on the front page to schedule a 15-minute phone conversation today. Again, that's the savvyinvestorradio.com, savvy with 2 V's.
Yes.
And set up a 15-minute phone call with either Sam or myself, and we can look over your federal benefits statement and determine if you're working for free.
I love this. So if I'm a federal employee and I'm working with a guy, or I'm looking at working with someone, can I just throw out some of these acronyms like FEGLI or TSP or CSRS? And if they don't know what those terms are, you got to leave. Is that kind of a good barometer to see if they know what they're talking about?
Yeah, I would say if you're using those terms, and they're kind of looking at you like, then that's probably not the best fit for a financial planner. Yeah. I feel like in the area we're in, we have a lot of federal employees because we're in the DMV. But definitely working with someone that specializes in federal benefits and understanding how your pension's calculated, understanding how much life insurance that you need to carry in retirement through the FEGLI, which we call FEGLI. We call that FEGLI.
You just lost me there. You just lost me there. What is that? FEGLI?
FEGLI. Yes. And then
that's the federal employees group life insurance.
Yes.
Well, I'm cheating. I've got notes here.
And then on top of that too is, determining whether, if you're married, whether or not you want to carry survivor benefits and what that looks like.
Let's talk about that because I want to get your opinions on this, because we hear federal employees and just pension people in general, they've got great pensions. But if you don't make those calculations, those selections properly, or better yet, since you ladies, you are here, if I'm a guy, if I make a pension election incorrectly, my wife could stand to lose a lot of money, and I can put her in a very vulnerable position.
Absolutely. So Sam and I recently did some women in wealth workshops. We basically do a retirement roadmap for women, and one of the sections that I talk about as a part of being aware of your financial independence and security is knowing whether your spouse has a pension or not, and knowing that when they sign off on those benefits when they retire, you have to sign off as the spouse whether they elect survivor benefits or not. So
read the fine print.
Yeah, read the fine print. I mean, being married myself and having, 4 kids, my husband and I, we trade off papers all the time. I need you to sign this, or you sign that, or I'll sign his name to something for the school, or, just because we're busy. That's something I always tell people. If your husband comes home from work and he has retirement papers,
here it comes.
Not sign them blindly, because a lot of times they can set you up for a loss of survivor benefits. Sam has a good example of this.
We had a couple that came in for a plan. It was their first plan, and we were talking about his survivor benefit. He's like, "Oh, I didn't take a survivor benefit. I took 100% of my pension." And the wife looked at him and was like, "Well, what do you mean?" He goes, "Oh, well, you signed the document." She goes, "Well, I wasn't aware what I was signing." Safe to say they were not happy with each other for the meeting. But if he were to pass away, she does not get anything. He took
nothing.
And we asked him, we said, why did you not elect or consider a survivor benefit? And he said, well, my income need was $4,000. If I selected survivor benefit, then I would have only gotten $3,600 and I would have been $400 short. Well, yeah, you might have been $400 short, but you have a TSP full of cash that you can use for that shortage
and security.
And now your wife, if you get hit by a pickle truck tomorrow, your wife is out $4,000. So for $400 a month, you could have saved your wife the agony of having to figure out where $3,600 of income is going to come into play.
And I think at that point, he probably wishes he would have gotten hit by a pickle truck.
I think she probably wanted to hit him by a pickle truck, but it wouldn't have been in her best interest at that point in time.
Okay. So we got to wrap this up. We got to wrap this segment up here, but I got to ask you a serious question.
Yes.
How in the world did the two of you keep her from killing him right there in your office?
We're therapists, honestly. Our second job is a therapist.
Yeah, that's our second job. Yeah. I mean, there's obviously other ways to secure survivor income if you don't have a pension. So we just had to shift a little bit, go to plan B on that. Yeah. So some other ways to do that is to have some life insurance that will cover that income need. So that's an option. Or just making sure that, we set up an income, basically create your own pension through an income producing policy where you transfer the risk from, say, your TSP or your IRA over to an insurance company where they guarantee you a paycheck for both of your lives, or in her case, just her life, because his life was covered. At this point, we just needed to cover her life. So there's definitely options out there if you've made a mistake in this area or you feel like you made the wrong choice. That's part of the planning process, is just knowing, where you want to be, how to navigate it, and working with someone like Sam or myself to make sure that you're protected and feel safe, and knowing that if your spouse passes away tomorrow, that your lifestyle is not going to change.
Absolutely.
Wow. This is great conversation. Of course, everyone's situation is different. Find out how they can help you. And we're bringing levity to a very important topic here. But this is stuff that happens, in real life. And we certainly don't want that to happen to you. Ladies, thank you. Thank you for what you guys are doing each and every day at ProStatus here in the Maryland, DC area, helping folks to and through retirement, especially the ladies, because, again, this story is a glaring example of that. And we're going to continue to do this at this time slot, to better help you with that. So tune in, have your wives, your spouses tune in, or share this podcast, with whoever you think needs that help. And that's the beauty of technology and where we are today, where we can share this information with a lot of people. 866-597-1040, 866-597-1040 right now for the next Savvy Investor callers that want to set up a quick 15-minute phone conversation with Katherine, with Sam. We have operators standing by right now, teammates. They're ready to take your call to do that. 866-597-1040 and online at thesavvyinvestorradio.com. Again, that's thesavvyinvestorradio.com. But if you do anything, do that today. That way you can make sure that you are on, as best you can, the right road to retirement. Sam, Katherine, thanks again for your time. We truly do appreciate it. But as always, here on The Savvy Investor, the two of you get this final word.
I'm Samantha Nash. Thank you for tuning in to the Savvy Investor Radio and podcast.
And I'm Katherine Groce. We'll see you, the Savvy Investor, next week.
Advisory services offered through ProStatus Financial Advisors Group, a registered investment advisor. Insurance licensed in Maryland. ProStatus Financial Advisors Group, LLC is not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if ProStatus Financial Advisors Group is licensed in your state, please call 410-863-1040. ProStatus Group, LLC is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through representatives of ProStatus Financial Advisors Group.